the major prophet kum chacha. On say me catch was say bomoden na hwe too much GH. On say me kan ye nyene bone pa na kase ye pe wo wi ase ya asonden. Asonden ti na Adam wo hu nyame ye no nyame no. Wo hu ne ma bi a wo hwehwehwehwe e wo other place ni ade. Cat won na bomoden na be hwe too much GH.
Me mama akwaba shronko eba too much GH so nana ama owusua enemy dey na separate so trending issues abeto dra ewo omanyi emu ena me dey ebesomo ewo ye video so na musua for ena dey wo be share ye trending issues pa kosa na and Bella, the twin girls at say woman entity 2019 abesi and one na access to yene mano and known and nam so at say waba bonte abeg three so many allegations at say ebi echo edi emma funny face ni kasa ya wode eba bonte the way we church ni that should be settled. So na ya we bet me na sumdue now we're moving on in life because they are aircon and he's almost at the end of his life because walk kakra say very soon he might kill himself. Nunti ehubenya because ushe the center of the issue na yene mano Ella and Bella enunti ena woba ponti adebia da wobe complaining nunti diempa eni betimi aya ne mano ebetimi abedi na afa obenya abotoyem atesebema ne nsem no eto etwa na de ekono enunti yato ensa edi afe openipa woda foster care unit Ghana has say and the Mr. Samuel anaglate atese woni eni ebewura ense no a church ya say na mo betimi etu emwa Ghana betimi edaba ama funny face wetimi enya abotoyem efa de ekono na ibusa form and say de be rank mon mu cramp me ka mo say adwuma kwa so ya say ema ye de adwuma de yi ebremo eye Mama Juliet Ventures Mama Juliet Eton Kitchen Appliances na wuhia no so 24/7 he available ebribia no wo betimi aboa na atese wonsa aka onyama wo pen na ebiem so no loan master for so say ya say na ebano loans yeah government worker wuhia for project so betimi aboa ama wenye bi entempa so niti form number no na sewo mo na boa me na ye welcome Mr. Samuel Anaglate. Hello Mr. Samuel. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you're very welcome to Tuma GH. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you too. You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I would like us to go straight to the issue that's at hand. So, what do you think about Funny Face ranting, the whole saga about his babies being taken away by his baby mama? What do you think about it?
It's absolutely not right for anybody at all to be denied access to his or her children. So on that basis, I can say that it is not right that Funny Face is not giving access to his children. But that will depend, to be given access will depend on a number of issues. If you have a child with someone, according to our law, there are certain responsibilities that you owe to the child.
Okay.
That is by remitting the parent, taking care of the children, being responsible for their upkeep, their feeding, and all that. And if you do all those things and you are denied access, then it is against your right. And then also the rights of the children, because every child has the right to a parent and then to receive love from his or her parent. So if one party for some reason decides to take you away from the parent, but from the other person. It is not only the parent that is being punished, but the children are also punished as well. So to say it vaguely like that without going into whether Boniface is responsible for the upbringing of the children, I can say that it is not in the best interest of the children to not allow them have some love from their parents.
Okay. Okay, so what do you say about one spouse taking away children from where they live, as maybe their home, taking away the children without the knowledge of the other? In the case of anything, maybe domestic violence or any other issue, is it right for one spouse to decide about the destiny of the children and take them away without the knowledge of the other, and go scot-free without any problems?
But the issue is that for you see, nothing happens in isolation. Okay, if
Okay.
such a case is if Fanny Faith had brought such a case to my office, or somebody is to report this case to my office to look into, I will not immediately jump into conclusion and say whether that is right or wrong. First of all, you want to find out what exactly led to that action where the mother of the children decides to move the children away from their home, and then two, not informing the parent, the father of the whereabouts of the children. Okay, we want to find out all those things because I believe that nothing happens in isolation. Anything that happens for a reason. So if the mother of the child has decided to move the children out of the house, we have to look into it. What made her do that? If she decided to move the children out of the house simply because she thinks that the father of the children are abusive, and that is not good for the children because children are not supposed to be seeing certain things at certain ages. Okay, so
Okay.
if that is not in the best interest of the children, or also let's say the child is living at home and the parent is just there, the father is just there, not feeding them, not taking care of them, doesn't care about anything that concerns them. Okay, and then we think that that can harm the children in any way because assuming the mother knowing that the father of the child is in the house and then she goes out to do other things, maybe for the children or for herself outside the house, and this man doesn't care about the children in any way, leaving the children in his care will be also dangerous because she may come back and the children may have harmed themselves because he didn't care about them. Okay, he's neglected them, so the children may be under his roof, but he has neglected them and doesn't care about anything that concerns them. So first of all, let's find out why did this woman move the children out of the house. If she did so because of any of these reasons that I have mentioned, then we can also look at it from that direction. Okay, now that you have taken the children out, what did you do? And as a way of trying to solve the situation, did you try to contact a social welfare officer? Did you contact the police? Because neglect, okay, is an abuse. And neglect simply means that you decide not to care about the children in any way. So the child could be with you and you don't care about the child. You don't do anything to support the children. The children are with you. So that is neglect. So in this case, the child is around, the father is around, but doesn't do anything to support the children in any way. Okay, that is criminal. That is against the laws, and that can be reported. So in this case, I don't have all the facts of the case. I don't know why she decided to move the children out of the house. But assuming that she did that, Boniface was responsible, was taking care of the children, and because Boniface is annoying, or because Boniface has beaten her, has done something that hurt her, she decided to move the children out of the house. Then we can also have something to say because it's not in the best interest of the children. The children need to receive that love from Boniface as a father to them.
Okay. Sɛ afei ɛna wo bɛka yɛ ho ɛwɔ ɛyɛ yɛ fidie yi so a na ɛsɛ wo ne sɛ Funny Face ne nsɛm a abeto dwa ne baby mama issues at sɛ adane ntɔkwadenden a social media wo twabɔ mame yɛbo a esiedu ɛne ebiemo nso no ne baby mama no Vanessa because wo ne sɛ one more and a one more chicha and name from being with the children no Ella and Bella. Now sa and seminal and ye na so a ye di won en community se wa badia na wo de ye wo comment wa join share e fa ho no e de aso ye ne Mr. Samuel Anagliate our da foster care unit ano Ghana has say and ye no edi enkomo eno Mr. Samuel. Hello.
Yes.
Okay, so now in the face of the two parents being abusive, the two of them can be abusive. The man beats the woman also beats the man, and also they are out there in the public accusing each other. Is it beneficial that they have the children with either one of them?
So what happens is that when such a case is reported to social welfare, and then we come around, we go to first part, the law gives us the power to go and investigate, and we have the authority to go with a police officer to go and investigate the abuse. And if you get into the house and realize that the way things are going, the children's life are in immediate danger, that means that anything bad can happen to the children because of the way the both parents are throwing blows and the rest. They could harm the child in any way. If you're able to investigate and then we are sure that such a thing exists, we have the authority given to us by law to remove the children from that environment into custody. Okay, we can take the children from that place to a place of safety so that the parents' behavior do not harm them in any way. And we keep the children until we have resolved whatever the problem is between the parents, and we think that the children are safe going back there. So this is one thing that we can do. If we should go and find out that something bad can happen to the children because of the activity of the parents, we can remove the children from that environment. The government will take custody of the children.
Okay, so if I understand you, it means we have a strata like that in Ghana here, whereby children who live in abusive homes can be taken away from their parents until the problem between the parents are solved.
That is true.
We have something like that here in Ghana.
Yes, it's part of our laws.
Really?
Yes.
So why are these cases very rampant in the country? We hear things like this a lot.
Okay, so can you give me an example of such case, any of that you know of that social welfare hasn't done anything about?
Okay, aside funny faces issue, we hear of average Ghanaians somehow living in abusive homes. The parents leave the kids behind. Some leave, the women may leave and leave the children for the man. Sometimes the man leaves the home and the children are left with the woman, and it's like it's nobody's business. You are left with your children. You have to work hard and take care of them, or either you, the man, have to find another woman, marry, so that she comes in to take care of your children. For we hear of such stories. They are not out there like in the media space, but in average Ghanaian homes, such stories are very, very normal.
Right, yeah. So with social welfare, we work with information.
Okay.
If we don't get access to this information, we wouldn't know such a thing is happening. But anytime we get to know anything like that, we take action, and then we make sure the children's life are protected. And I can cite so many examples for you that we have done that. So if you know about any, you can just walk into any social welfare office to report, and we'll take action. Because the best interest of every child in Ghana is very paramount to us.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we know that in the Western countries, you have structures like social workers going from home to home, records of every child born in that nation that they do follow-ups on, that you have to go to their house, ask after the children, check the environment in which they live, and all those kind of. Do we have such structures in Ghana here?
Okay, so every country and what the law permits them to do.
Okay.
Okay, you can't just enter into anybody's house and then say I'm coming to, unless you have some sort of permit or some sort of authority to do so. If I hear of it, or if I hear that a child is being beaten in a certain home, that is why I said we'll go with the police so that we go and then investigate. But to say we get up and then go into houses and go and then look at how the children are doing in the houses and all those things, we don't do that per se. But what we do to ensure that children are well cared for is the how do you call it, the sensitization programs that we do, talking to people about them, and then going to communities and teaching them the importance of putting children in school, like maintaining the rights of children, and then taking care of children. Lately, I'm sure you sometimes even hear this on radio and TV, which are also sensitization programs that we do to protect the rights of children, and then we are sure that this is done. And in case anybody somewhere, anywhere, hears that a child is abused in any environment, the person can go into any social welfare office to report to us so that we take action. The laws are different depending on where you find yourself. So if somebody in a certain country is doing something, possibly it's because of some issues that have happened there, that is what made them to come out with such laws. Ghana, maybe we may not have had any incidents that will make us go around houses to check to see whether children are abused or not. So we've not had any incidents, so there's no law like that that will give us the authority to do that.
Okay. So let's come back to the situation of Funny Face. In one of his videos, he made mention of how he continues to send money to his baby mama, who is not in good terms with him and doesn't even allow him to see the children. He still sends money to the lady every time that he thinks is right for the funding of their children. So in such a case like this, with everything that he has said out there, is it not information enough for the social welfare unit to start work on something about his issue?
So first of all, we have heard a side of Funny Face. The woman hasn't come out to say whether that is true or not. Okay, so we can't jump into conclusion and say this is what is happening. The second issue is that some of these cases are to be reported. If Funny Face has an issue with the woman with regards to whether his wife or baby mama or however he calls her is not allowing him access to the children, he knows where to go to, so that the law is brought into sort of protect the children and protect him. I must also say that issues regarding custody are usually decided by the court. Social welfare can take an initial step and then try as much as possible to mediate and advise. If after if after advising and the parties disagree and don't want to listen to whatever advice you give them, the court is there. They can go to court and then file the case in court for the judges to rule on who takes custody and who gets access to the children. And when that case gets to court, when that case gets to court, we can also come in to do a social investigation for the court to use as basis to give a ruling to say whether the child is better being with the father or better being with the mother. I hope you understand.
Yeah, I get you from your point. Okay, so it means that you need him or whoever is concerned to report first before you can take a move about the issue.
Exactly.
So you can have the information out there, but you will not work upon it. Okay.
This is what Funny Face has said. This is the problem he has with the issue. He can come over to us and then tell us that this is the problem I have, and then this is what I want social welfare to do to assist us. We will go into the case, we'll investigate. And then when we are sure, sorry, we investigate, and when we are sure, we give an advice, and then if they don't take it, then refer them to court.
Meaning you can sue both parents for how they address their children.
If we realize that there is a problem or any of them have abused the children in any way, we can then take a decision whether to remove the child from the environment. And if we do that, then we think by the nature of abuse, there is any criminal aspect of it, we just leave that to the police for them to handle.
So then, how do you deal with domestic violence between two parents with young children below the age of 2 years? How would you deal in such an issue?
Domestic violence, it depends on what you mean by this violence you are talking about. If it is between, if it has anything that, or if there is a child involved which will affect the child, then we come in to remove the child after we have identified that the child living there is not safe, okay, or the child is in some immediate danger, it's in a form of danger. We can immediately remove the child to our custody for protection. Once we refer the other part of the case to the police for them to deal with. There is a unit at the police headquarters called deals with domestic violence cases. So we can refer that aspect to them for them to handle. But then if there's a child involved, we can come in and remove the child from that environment. That is if our investigations have shown to us that even the child, the further harm will be caused to the child.
Augustina answer, greetings to my GH. Nana Ama, you look good. Thank you very much for bringing in your comment. And we also have Exposed GH coming in with, he doesn't really understand what we are talking about, or it's too much for him. Exposed GH also is back with and abusive. So, with everything that is going on between Funny Face and his former wife or baby mama, or however he is or she is to her, now we know from what they are saying, because we have heard the two sides in audios. Funny Face recorded a video. The lady also came out and recorded an audio of how Funny Face used to beat her and she couldn't take it anymore, so she had to leave with the children. And Funny Face also came out with a video of how the woman used to like abuse him. He even complained about how he was slapped with both hands by this same woman he has children with. So yeah, in this case, we have the two sides telling the public that they beat each other while they have two children, twins, below 2 years with them. And it's like the man needs his children with him and the woman doesn't want to be with the man. So in that case, no children for you. So we wanted to know how in such a case like this, if neither of them are coming up to at least make a case about it, would it just be there in the public domain for the public to be judging who is right and who is wrong, or we just let it be like that until they make a case about it, nothing will be done about it, or what?
Usually, what we even advise is that cases like that are not put in the public domain. These cases involve children, and these are your private issues. So when you come to my office with a case like this, I will not put any information out there concerning whatever case you have brought to me. Confidentiality is key. It's one of our major ethics that we work with, and we try as much as possible not to put information out there with regards to families, each cases that are brought to us. So sometimes I find it very funny when people go on social media to let the whole world know whatever happened between he and his wife in the bedroom or in their marital home. Because some of these children, everybody knows them. They will grow and then people will get to know them. My problem always is that these children, everybody knows who they are. It is no fault of theirs that there are issues between their parents. Now this is what is happening. Their parents are fighting, and then they are involved. In future, maybe the child wants to keep a private life, but everybody knows that when you were growing up, your parents were fighting, and you were the cause because they were fighting over you. They took you away, and this person will bring you. I don't think this is good for anybody at all, any child in Ghana. So usually we advise that when you have issues like that, try as much as possible to stay off social media with your private issues. It doesn't help you in any way. It doesn't help the children in any way. That does not solve the problem for you. Okay, people rather make mockery of you. The people on social media, your followers who talk for you, none of them will solve the problem for you. The laws are there, the structures are there. If you don't want to go to social warfare, you can go to the court, or you can go to how do you call it, the ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution. You can go to them for them to, sit you down. Or their family, you people come from families where you were getting married, they brought you two together. Talk to them. Let them settle the issues. Some people even go to the extent of going to the criminals in their communities for them to settle some of these cases. So it is very, very bad that people will want to put such information out there. Some of the things that I heard coming out of these issues, to me, it is so bad. It shouldn't be encouraged at all.
Some Ghanaians are of the view that the laws protecting children in Ghana here are very, very, very loose, because we know for a fact that children are involved in this, but yet we are waiting on the parent to make the report first before we can do anything to help the children. Like you are saying, their image as children who have their own rights and their own feelings about things are at risk, because you don't know what they are going to grow to become, whether they will like it out there or not. But yet they have been put out there by no fault of theirs, and they are not the only children. We have so many celebrity children who have been at the center of. Yeah, I'm here.
I'm not cutting it short, okay?
Okay.
So, from what you are saying, I want us to look at this case, this funny face and a wife's case. There are two people involved, a man and a woman. The woman is saying that the man abused her, and because of that, she left the matrimonial home with the children, and she's living somewhere, and has not complained that where she is living, there is any harm to the child or any harm to her. The man has come on social media and is saying all sort of things about the woman that had left her, right?
True.
Do we say because we have the laws that work, because we have the laws that work, funny face coming onto radio or on social media to say all the things that he has said? Because of that, you get up and then go and arrest the two of them, or go and take the children from them. Is that what the Ghanaians are saying? And for that matter, they think that our laws are loose?
Yes, because the thing out there, you hear the things they are saying to each other, you feel sorry for the children, because you don't know what to expect of their life, because the mother is not willing to be with the father, to come into agreement with the father, and the father too feels the woman is wicked. So they don't have agreement between each other. So how are the children raised then? Shouldn't the government be stepping in for such children who are vulnerable?
There is no evidence at this point to show that the children have been harmed in any way. There is no evidence. These are two adults that are fighting on social media, mind you, not physically. Okay, I have not seen any picture of the children anywhere. These are two adults that are fighting among themselves because they think they are out of love, or somebody has done or said something about them, each other, that is not right. So we should be very, very careful whatever decision we take. Okay. It is always better for the child to grow up in a family, specifically the child's biological family. If we are going to remove the child from that family into another family, then we should be sure that the child is being harmed in any way. The law says that the best place for the child is in the family, specifically the child's family. Okay, so if we are going to go against that law, then we should be able to prove your reasonable doubt that the child's biological family is doing something that is harming the child. Immediately, maybe you can tell me, I can't see any harm being caused to the children as we speak right now because the man doesn't even know where these children are. Right? And whatever fight that is going on between them, it's on social media. All you can do is to advise them so that they stop putting their private information out there. Okay, and that is what I did earlier. But if you are sure that these families are harming their children in any way, or if somebody can prove to me that their activity is harming the children in any way, okay, I personally will even go and move the children from that family.
Okay, let's take it this way, Mr. Samuel. Let's take it this way. The children are with the mother, and she doesn't want the father to see them. In this case, is it not like the children are being refused of their fatherly affection that they should be having as they are growing? They should be having their father close to them, knowing how he is, getting to know him better as they develop. So in this case, their mother is refusing them of having that affection from their father. Don't you think that is enough for yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
So what is happening is that, first of all, the mother moved out of a home she called abusive home. She knows what goes on in the house.
Okay.
Okay. Without solving any problem, we advise that we send these children back to that home. Because we think that the children need access. The children need to get close to their father.
Not in that way. At least another way that the children can be taken from both of them until their problem is solved between the problem is solved between each other. Because if it's taken from them, they will have access to see. I'm sure they can have access to each, and the two of them can have access to their children, because the man will know that, okay, our children is no longer with any one of us. It's with the social welfare. So okay, if I need to see my children, I can go to the social welfare. We are still under counseling. We are undergoing the process of solving our issues. So we still have access to our children. Both of us have access to our children. But this is the case whereby the mother is holding the children away from the father with no access.
So do you think they cannot solve their problem while the child is with the mother?
Okay.
See, to move a child from a biological family, okay, it's not an easy thing to do. It's a very difficult decision to take. First of all, okay, let's look at it this way. You know, these children know their mother so well.
Good.
These children have bonded so well with their mother, and have attached so well. They are attached so well with their mother, and they know their mother so well. Separating them from their mother, do you know what harm they are going to cause to them? Okay. Assuming all of a sudden somebody is moving you from your I mean an adult as you are, moving you from where you are, your friends and everybody that you know, into an environment that you don't know anybody, you don't know anything, simply because somebody is fighting you, which is not affecting, so somebody is fighting somebody which is not affecting you directly. But because you want those two adults to solve their problem, you are going to separate these children, these innocent children, from their mother.
As hard as you say it will still put pressure on the parent to come to an agreement. Even as hard as you say it.
Why don't we use other options?
Okay.
Okay. Leave the children with their mother. Allow their mother to still have custody of the children, and then put the two of them together to solve their problem. Is that not doable, or is that not better than taking the children away?
Okay.
And asking before you ask them to solve their problem.
Okay, let's take some few comments from our viewers. Augustina Ansai said, why is it that married men are being neglected when it comes to issues like this? But if a lady goes through this, whether she has reported or not, she gets people to help and defend. She asked again that our laws are loose. It's written but can't be implemented, and we have worked on that. We have to. Expose GH2 is back and said, can't the social welfare intervene since the thing is on social media? Augustina answer, please ask him if this can affect the children's future. And Expose GH is also back again and he wants to know, please ask the man, what does the social welfare do to women who abuse their husband? All the questions are directed at you. Did you hear me?
I'm listening.
They want to know why is it that the men, when it's the case of the men who are being abused, it's like the laws are silent. The men, no, men cannot be abused. It looks like in our community, we have this thing in our mind that men cannot be abused. So it's only women who are vulnerable. So when the women are the one going through the problem, when they are the one complaining, it's okay. But when it's the men, nothing is done about it. So they want to know why is the social welfare allowing men to be abused, but women, they are left to have their free life.
Social welfare is not allowing men to be abused. The issue is this: a lot of times it's difficult for these men to go and report that they have been abused by women. If the one talking is a woman, then she can try beating a man and she'll be surprised and let the man go and report. Be surprised how she'll be handled. And for your information, that issue, that abuse cases are not usually handled by social welfare.
Okay.
They're handled by the DOSU unit of the Ghana Police Service. When there is abuse, they usually handle that. We come in when we have to work on the marriage or work if there's a child involved or those things like that. We come in to work on that. But then the abuse case itself, I think is criminal. It's not handled by social welfare. The police handle that. So if there's a man somewhere whose wife abuses her, the man can go to the Justice Unit or the Ghana Police Service and then report if he has evidence that his wife beats him or abuses him in any way, whether about any way, he can go and report. So we don't support the women and leave the men. The law does not discriminate against anybody.
Okay, Mr. Samuel, thank you very much. And before we go, please, can you say something, the final words about how children are being handled in the country? You leave it with us so that we can take it along. Your final words, please.
Okay. All right. So what I want to say is that children are a property of the state. Whether you give birth to them or not. Okay. Whether it's your child or whoever the child is, they are property of the state, and government can take the child from you anytime if you think that you are abusing these children. These children, we were once children, and somebody took care of us, and that is why we are where we are now. If you deny this care of a child, the child may not grow to be like you or even better than you. They are also like an insurance for us. We take care of them now. In future, they will come back to take care of you. That is when you are weak and cannot work. So if you are a man and you shed off your responsibility, decide not to take care of the children, in future, you have to pay dearly for it. That is all I want to tell Ghanaians. Let's be very responsible over our children and other children.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for making time with us today. Now, Ebusia for and come on, DFR funny face and then the baby mama and to call one more amaso we can away aka. Will be asi ebono, will be asi ebono yonko nanso and kolam yenu ewo womu entim and no any bobo won ewa say ninti wo so adwen no so wait me and to live chat me obeti me e to your comment section na ebiamo so no wa follow yen ewa your Twitter and your Instagram page at too much GH_, Facebook so yewo too much GH nana ama owusu a enimidin na me adoma ye besan edi ehia bi makram. Thank you.